All right, so we can go ahead and get started. So my name is Sarah Dreitlein. I am the Employee Transportation Coordinator for the City of San Jose. So I handle commuter benefits for employees aside from pre-tax dollars, which HR handles. And today we're going to be having a webinar presented to us from VTA on how to use their services, bus and light rail from VTA, and how to ride their services. So we have Gretchen, Janice, and Dino are here to present, and this will be recorded. We're going to take questions at the end of the presentation. So if you do have questions that pop up, feel free to use the chat feature if you don't want to forget them. But otherwise, we'll take those at the end. And I'll let the VTA team take it away.
All right. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. We're so glad to have the opportunity to talk to you today. We'll be going over a few things today that will hopefully help you ride transit, use our system, and know how to navigate the system. We'll go over our service, the ABCs of how to ride transit, talk a little bit about our fares, SmartPass and Clipper cards. We'll touch on bikes on transit and other programs, a little bit on accessibility and safety. And I think right before we hit Q&A, we'll also talk about where you can talk to for customer service and how you can stay engaged. So my name is Gretchen Biza. I'm a VTA's Community Outreach Manager, and I am joined by Dino Guevara, who is our Market Development Manager, and Janice Soriano Ramos, who is a Senior Transportation Planner on the Transit Service Planning side here at VTA. And we are delighted to be here. And just to echo Sarah's comments, we are more than happy to see your questions pop up as we go through the presentation, but we'll hold those until the very end of the presentation. You're welcome to jot them down, though, while you're watching the slides. So with that, I am going to go ahead. Oops, I'm not going to turn it over yet. I wanted to share, before we go into using transit specifically, share a little bit about VTA's role in Santa Clara County. So we are the county transportation agency, and a lot of folks think of us simply as bus and light rail, but we really touch all forms of transportation. Our projects include bicycle and pedestrian. We work on transit-oriented development and land use. We are designing, building, constructing the BART to Silicon Valley project. And we also are the congestion management agency for Santa Clara County. So we handle lots of roadway and highway construction projects. And now I'm actually going to hand it over to Janice to take the next handful of slides.
Thanks, Gretchen, and thanks everyone for joining during your lunch hour. I am really looking forward to sharing some details that will help you navigate our system. And to start off with, I'll talk a little bit about how our transit service network is structured. So for those of you who may be seeing our system maps for the first time or may have seen them around, you'll notice that our system maps are color-coded by how frequent our services run. And how they're listed on the right here, they're listed in order from most frequent to least frequent. So starting with our light rail rapid and frequent service, you'll tend to see the rapid and frequent bus routes color-coded in red there, but I'll start off with light rail. We have 3 light rail lines color-coded in light blue, green, and orange. So our blue line runs from Bay Point in North San Jose down to Santa Teresa in South San Jose. We've got the green line, which serves Old Ironsides, which a lot of people know that's the stop that's the second closest to Levi's. So you'll tend to see people board the green line for Levi Stadium events, and that serves all the way down to Winchester in Campbell. You've got our orange line that runs west-east from Mountain View all the way down to Alum Rock. Then you've got our rapid and frequent service, and these are bus routes that run every 15 minutes on weekdays. Our rapid bus routes tend to have more stops that are more widely spaced, so they tend to be a little bit faster, more competitive than some of our frequent routes. We've got 4 of those that are rapid versions of some of our frequent routes, but a lot of our frequent network is what we like to call show up and go service. Since it runs so frequently every 15 minutes, we've got schedules that note that, but it's our most convenient service in the network. Then you've got our local routes, color-coded in the darker blue. These tend to serve more of our neighborhood connections, tend to provide more coverage, not so much intended to pick up too many riders, but these run less frequently, typically every 30 minutes. Some of them you'll see run every hour or so, and not all of these routes run on weekends. So those are our local routes. And then finally, for those of you who may take advantage of this, we also have express routes in green, and we've got 5 express routes today that tend to serve more of your corporate park areas. So we've got 4 express routes, the 101 through 104, that serve the Stanford Research Park, and those are co-funded by our partners over at the Stanford Research Park. And then we've got one that serves the Moffett Park area, the 121. Those are co-sponsored by our friends at Lockheed Martin and Juniper Networks, and those tend to run one in one direction in the morning and then the other direction back in the afternoon, since they are very peak-oriented commuter services. So on the next slide, I want to talk a little bit about where we are today with restoring our service. And some of you may have heard that we have certainly had to pull back on how much transit service we were able to lay out there since the pandemic. Our service restoration rates are limited by how quickly we could hire more operators to cover that shortage, but I am happy to say that we are in really good shape with that. You might remember during the pandemic, we severely cut back on our service due to stay-at-home orders, social distancing. I'm sure this group needs no reminder about how much we all had to pull back from service during the pandemic, but we kept just enough service running so that we could have our most essential workers and operations function. Today, we have been hiring aggressively for the past couple of years. We've got back-to-back operator classes, which tend to be really extensive, and because of that hard work, we are getting very close to restoring our service to what we used to offer before the pandemic. We're roughly at 93% today of what we used to offer, but in October, we'll bump that up to roughly 95%. And what's really promising is we are seeing signs of more riders coming back to our network. We have seen that this is a nationwide challenge to really earn every rider back. And we're happy to say that we're approaching roughly 80% of riders at what we've seen before the pandemic. And hopefully by the end of this webinar, you'll be some of those our riders who will be coming back to our system. I think we're in really good shape here. So a last thing I wanted to share here is something you may not realize as you're thinking about taking transit to and from work is we update our schedules year round, 4 times a year to be exact. And there's several reasons for this. We have an annual service planning process that allows us to engage with the community and get their feedback on how they would like to see our service get better each year. This is something that we like to do so that we can do things like make any major changes to routes, how frequently a route operates. We look at how early and late some of our routes operate as well through this process. We have opportunities to add new routes, look at ways we could discontinue or consolidate routes. But more importantly, as we look at how often we change our schedules, it also gives us an opportunity to adjust to traffic conditions. It gives us chances to adjust our school-oriented service to changing bell times, because a lot of schools have different schedules quarter after quarter. It allows us to match up our time transfers with folks like BART and Caltrain so that we can better connect all of you to those regional services. So it really is a good thing that we get to change our service, our schedules 4 times a year. So with that, I think this is where I pass it off to Dino to take care of the rest, talk about VTA SmartPass.
Thanks, Shanice. did you know that you could actually get $10,000 or save $10,000 a year? And here's how you could do it. So the city of San Jose, you guys, all of you have a Smart Pass. What Smart Pass is, it's an annual pass that pretty much allows you unlimited use of VTA bus and light rail. Typically, if one were to buy an annual pass from VTA, it'll cost about $990 a year. I believe that's what the fare is. But in your case, you have a $1,000 fare product that's free for you. At the moment, SmartPass, like I said, is a fare product that's loaded onto a Clipper card, and it's a card that is shown in the left portion of the slide. At the moment, it's a physical card, but down the road, we hope to have a card virtualized, meaning that you could actually put that card into your digital wallet and use your phone if possible for you to tag on VTA bus and light rail. But at the moment, it's still a physical card. Using the card is pretty easy. Just the Smart Pass is already loaded onto the Clipper card, and all you have to do is tag the card onto the device shown on the left portion of the slide. It's called the Clipper card reader for buses, and there are also Clipper card readers at the light rail stations and the light rail station platforms. Please tag prior to boarding on the light rail stations. You will see them close to the ticket vending machines, and all you have to do is tag it once before you get on light rail. When you enter the bus, they're after the doors, so they're near the bus operator, and tag your cards there. And once you do, all you have to do is take a seat. Let's see. If you ride an express bus, on the off chance that you ride an express bus, SmartPass actually covers just a portion of that fare. A typical express bus ride would cost $5. Um, so SmartPass will cover $2.50 of it. So you have to make up that deficit. So you have to have eCash. You have to load cash value onto your Clipper card to cover the cost of the express bus. So all that stuff will kind of be given to you at the right side of the screen. You will see a SmartPass brochure, which we will give to City of San Jose and for them to distribute to all of you guys. Next slide. This is really just the basics of riding. So if you're new to taking transit, it is advisable that you pre-plan your trip. Plan it hours before you were to ride, or potentially the day before. We have two main tools for trip planning. We have an app called Transit, which you could download to your phone, or by going to VTA.org to plan your trip. If so inclined, you could call our customer service at 408-321-2300 for a more personalized trip plan, and you could do it that way as well. Once you have a plan, we advise getting to your stop about 10 minutes prior to the arrival of your bus or train. And be prepared. Always be prepared to make eye contact, because sometimes if you're not ready, if you're seated on a bench and you're looking at the phone, the operator may not stop thinking that you're just there resting. So that's one of the things that we kind of want to emphasize. Always be ready for the bus or train to come and pick you up, and always make that eye contact. As previously mentioned, please tag your card while boarding the bus or when taking light rail. Tag before you train. A reminder about tagging, though, when taking light rail, and this is really specific for taking light rail. The first tag that you do is valid for 2 hours, and you don't have to tag again if you're transferring between light rail cars or light rail trains. So, unlimited rides for you on trains for 2 hours. But if you transfer to a bus, you must tag again. It's no cost to you. SmartPass covers all that, but it is advised that you tag if you board different buses. So as you're riding, be aware when you need to deboard, if there is space, and if you're new to transit, if there is space, please sit next to the bus operator, and he can assist by telling you when to get off. If you are requesting a stop, pull the cord on the bus or push the stop request button on light rail to request that stop. And below is the link for more information about how to ride VTA. Next slide. This is our trip planning tool on VTA.org. So this is what it looks like. These are accessible on your desktop, but on our website, it is a mobile first design. So you could absolutely do this using your smartphone. There are 3 tabs. If you notice on the picture, there's real-time information for a specific route. The trip planner, the middle tab, lets you plan your trip. And lastly, you could look at the schedules with the schedule tab that allows you to see all the route schedules and stops. We advise you to really use the tools for your trip planning way before you're about to ride, because it is a lot of information for you to have. In this example, I took a screenshot of it. This is the real-time information for Rapid Bus 522 that's actually going from Palo Alto to Eastridge. Also, a reminder that there are 2 directions that you're going. Sometimes you may do the reverse commute, which is Eastridge to Palo Alto, and always be aware of that fact. In this slide, you are seeing the real-time information for the 522 at El Camino and Remington, and at the El Camino Remington bus stops, right? And the real-time information that is showing is 1:19 p.m., 1:39, and 1:51. Next slide. This is the other tool that we have, which is Transit app. So this is a picture of Transit app, which VTA has a partner with. Transit app, like our website, provides real-time information and is really the same data that our website offers. You could download Transit app. You can customize it because VTA has upgraded all county residents with a Transit app Royale, which is the premium subscription to Transit app. This is my screen. I call myself Zen Rider because I tend to fall asleep when I take the train, and because it's so comfy, I call myself Zen. But word of caution, if you do fall asleep, I've missed my stop a few times. So so I have a timer on my watch just in case I don't miss my stop. The good thing about a transit app is, compared to a web trip planner, this actually gives you real-time information based on the GPS on your phone. So for example, here where we are at First and Montague, I pulled up the real-time information that is showing on Transit app, which is the bus line 20. So it kind of senses which routes are close to you, and it automatically gives you real-time information based on where you are. So in this case, it is bus line 20 going to the Sunnyvale Transit Center, and it's showing the real-time information, the three times that's going to the Sunnyvale Transit Center. If you swipe to the left or to the right, it's going to show you real-time information going to the other direction. So that's the good thing about Transit app. Next slide. We are happy to announce that by mid-October, we will be launching Smart Commute, which is our incentive platform that will be open countywide. It has really 2 purposes. One is for you to join a carpool or van pool, and the other is to take alternative modes of transportation like walking, biking, carpooling, or taking transit. You start by creating an account and start logging your alternative transportation trips. By doing so, potentially you could earn points or rewards. And the more you take, the more you earn. So as an example, hypothetically, we could launch a campaign that rewards you with, let's say, a $10 gift card if you track 10 transit trips taken in the month of October, as an example, our 10-10-10 promo. 10 trips, $10 gift card in the month of October, which is the 10th month of the year. You can load your trips on the website. You could track your trips on the website We hope to name it smartcommute.vta.org, or you could also track your trips through an app that we will disclose as well once we launch the campaign. The good thing about Smart Commute is, like I mentioned, it is a county-wide program. But the good thing is we have the option to give the City of San Jose a sub-network. So the City of San Jose and the employees could kind of do trip planning on your own, carpooling on your own, van pooling on your own, just exclusively for City of San Jose employees. And your Smart Commute coordinator could actually launch campaigns by yourself, incentivize exclusively for City of San Jose employees. So that's a really good thing about Smart Commute is we have the option to make the city its own sub network to do its own TDM programs and its own incentive programs. Next slide. And I'll touch on these two programs briefly. We do have two other programs to note. Our Guaranteed Ride Home program offers you kind of peace of mind for those non-solo commuters, for those who are walkers and bikers and carpoolers and van poolers. Basically, you could take a guaranteed ride home if you use a sustainable form of transportation to work or to college or to anywhere within Santa Clara County. And if things happen when you are at work or at school, like a personal emergency or an unscheduled overtime, and there is no available transit, you could take a guaranteed ride home on us at no cost to you. We allow up to, I guess, six reimbursements a year for a total of $500, whichever comes first. And that's the guaranteed ride home. For van pooling, we offer a van pool program as well, which is kind of perfect for groups of 5 to 15 commuters all traveling to the same or nearby workplace. Perfect for City of San Jose folks. It's really ideal for you guys. And VTA is partnered with MTC's Bay Area Van Pool program to provide up to $900 a month towards the cost of a shared van pool. And all this information we will provide to your transportation coordinator. And next slide. I think this is my last slide. Bikes on transit. This is also key for us. We offer bike parking and bike lockers. Bike lockers are free, and we have about 500 at many destinations, like Lakeville stations, Caltrain and BART stations, as well as our transit centers. There is no charge for a bike locker, but there is a refundable deposit of $25, and the link to those bike lockers are provided. A key thing when you are taking your bikes on buses or trains, for buses, prior to loading your bike, which is really a safety thing for us, prior to loading your bike on the bike rack, please get the attention of the operator prior to boarding and indicate to that operator that you will load your bike on the bike rack. Again, there are instructions on the link provided. Also, you could go to our VTA.org, our YouTube channel, to get all the information that way. When you reach your destination and you need to get off the bus, also deboard from the front of the bus, which is really key for us, and tell the operator that you'll unload your bike. This is really done for safety. And then after that, proceed to unload. When taking light rail, there are two options for you. The light rail cars, all cars have spaces in the middle of the cars, so you could hang your bikes there or just stand with your bike. So those are two options for you. And I think next slide.
Right, and so we are here to help if folks have mobility devices or if they need additional assistance. Our transit buses, light rail vehicles, and our facilities accommodate folks with disabilities by incorporating elements into the design, such as raised bumps, braille on cards, larger lettering on signage, to help improve usability for folks with disabilities. And of course, our bus and light rail operators are the first line of assistance for people who use those mobility devices. We also make sure that in advance of key destinations that we announce those verbally on our buses and on our light rail systems to better orient folks that might have visual disabilities. And then lastly, for those who might not be able to use our light rail or our buses, VTA does provide paratransit service, and that is called VTA Access. There is an application process, but that will pick you up at your home or at your location and take you within the area that our service is provided. I do have a number and an email address on the page for you if you'd like to inquire about Access Paratransit, or really about additional information about using our service if you need additional assistance. And that is our customer service number, which is 408-321-2300. And of course, now that you are on our system, we want to make sure that you feel safe. There are a number of different ways that you can ask for help if you ever feel unsafe. Certainly the number one, and again, your operator is your ally. If you're feeling unsafe, you can certainly let them know. You can sit close to the front of the car. Please don't hesitate to reach out to your operator if you're feeling unsafe. And certainly situational awareness, making sure that you're alert what's going on around you, be it on a train or on a bus or at a stop or a station. We also have the VTA Alerts app, which you can use if you are experiencing an incident or feeling unsafe while either on our service or at our facilities. And of course, 911. In case of a true emergency, please reach out, call 911 if you need assistance. VTA's customer service is available every day. If you have concerns, if you leave something on the bus and you need to pick it up, if you would like personalized trip planning, or any other concerns, if you want to say, hey, you know, the bus driver on 522 was an absolute gem. That's the kind of stuff we like to hear. If you have other comments, we'll take those too. And again, that number is 408-321-2300. And the email address is on that page. And we're also on social media. So we've got social accounts, you know, on all the Facebook, Instagram, through our LinkedIn, and then X. So come find us. You'll get information about our service, about our programs, about VTA news, and any alerts or impacts that we might have. And then lastly, you know, our entire organization as the County Transportation Agency, we have lots of different opportunities for folks to give input to help shape transportation for them, both now and as we look long term, to look at and learn about infrastructure projects, service changes and updates, you know, all of that. So please feel free to reach out to the community outreach page, where we have upcoming meetings and events and different ways that you can find out information about specific projects. And with that, we really appreciate your time. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Sarah to take a look and see if there's any Q&A, and Sarah will go ahead and facilitate that. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you all so much for that presentation. I learned some things on there. In case anybody is wondering, when they refer to your SmartPass coordinator or your Smart Commute coordinator, that would be myself. Again, Sarah Dreitline, relatively new to the city, and stepping into this role to help all of us employees with our commuter benefits. If anybody does have any questions, if you would like to unmute yourself to ask those, or if you would like to drop them into the chat. I wrote down a few as the presentation was going, so I can get us started with that, and then we can check in on the chat, or we could take Ben's question first. So Ben is asking, Dino mentioned no need to swipe again within 2 hours. Would it be okay if we swiped anyways?
Yeah, it wouldn't affect it at all. So if you want to swipe just for the feeling of swiping, yeah, absolutely not an issue for us. I probably failed to mention that if you're if you're taking light rail, you may encounter a fare inspector, and they have handheld devices as well. So we urge you to swipe before you board. And then once you board, have a seat, and potentially you may encounter a fare inspector. So it is advisable that that fare inspector sees that you tagged prior to boarding, so so nothing else happens. They will see if you forget to swipe. I believe this is the case. They will see a SmartPass product in there anyway, although it probably indicated on their handheld that you didn't swipe. Um, they may let you off with a warning, but always advisable to swipe before you enter a bus or train.
Great, thank you. And then Wilton has a question. Should my Clipper card from 2017 still work like normal? It should work on first tap swipe for rapid local frequent buses, assuming eCash is available for rapid, correct?
If that is a personal Clipper card, then yes, it should still work. But for, I think, the City of San Jose, they have specific Clipper cards loaded with the SmartPass. So you have to use that for your SmartPass. And then once you have that City of San Jose Clipper card, you may want to transfer all the value that you have in your personal card onto that SmartPass Clipper card, so that you have all that value, as well as all the credit that SmartPass gives you if you were to ride an express bus. But it's your option. You could also use your current existing Clipper card that doesn't have the SmartPass as well. So it's your choice.
Perfect. And then Vina posted a question here. They have a problem that they purchased a monthly pass, a Clipper card at the Winchester VTA vending machine, which was charged $93, and the card did not work. They called customer service, I assume, but they did not have a registered complaint in the month of May. I'll kick this over to you in a minute, Dino, but you are eligible for a free SmartPass as a city employee. If you're a benefited employee, you are eligible. But Dino, I'll let you address that one.
Potentially, yes, it could be a Clipper issue or a VTA issue. So if you got charged $93 at the Winchester VTA vending machine, I don't know what product we have that actually charges you $93. So I'm not sure what exactly that is. Maybe Sarah, if you could provide more information offline for this employee, as well as the Clipper card serial number. If that is the case, then we could investigate a bit further.
Sure. And Vina, I welcome you to send me an email. My name is on the screen here, Sarah Dreitline. I'm also the one that sent you emails before. And then we can try and get to the bottom of what might be happening there. And then I will continue with some questions that I asked. If anybody else has questions that come up, please feel free to put them into the chat. But some questions that I wrote down include, what is, if not your social media handles that you shared, what is the best way to stay informed on service updates, especially those that are planned updates or general VTA happenings? Is there like a monthly or weekly email subscribe list that can be joined or anything of that sort?
So the best way to stay aware of updates is to go to our website, and you can go ahead and go to the COPE page, and there is a button where you can pull down and select what you are interested in learning about. So we have multiple mailing lists, right, for all of our different projects, and we certainly have a service update or a service planning update. You can also go to our news. We have multiple blog posts per week to give you an update on what is happening agency-wide with our projects and with our service.
Great. I have a few questions. But we could go to Huad here. just to confirm, for the city issued SmartPass, the non-express buses are free of charge and light rail as well, but we still pay for express buses.
You pay for a portion of the express bus. So the Smart Pass covers half of that fare, half that one-way fare, $5. So Smart Pass covers $2.50, and you would have to have $2.50 in cash on your Clipper card to complete that trip.
Perfect. And then the next question here from Wilton, if I got my Clipper card in 2017 from the city, does that mean SmartPass is available on that without any changes? For example, did I need to do something with that card or replace it?
Ideally, we could check, Sarah. So if the employee gives you the Clipper card serial number, and we could check if SmartPass is still loaded onto that card.
So you can please send me an email, Wilton, with your SmartPass number, which is on the back of your card.
Or you could try to tag, because it doesn't cost you anything anyway. If you tag near a light rail station platform, you guys are close to a couple of light rail stations. If you want to tag and see if it's valid, I mean, no cost to you. That's one way to check as well.
Wonderful. All right. So the next question that I have written down is, if I lose my Clipper card and it has funds on it, how can I recover those monies?
Always register your Clipper card. So if you have personal funds on a Clipper card provided by the City of San Jose, it is still advisable that you go online to clippercard.com, I believe, and register the card. So once you have the card registered, that value could be transferred to lost or stolen cards. I think the replacement fee is $5. So yes, please register the card for you, so we could deactivate, so Clipper could deactivate that lost or stolen card and transfer that value to a new card.
This is especially important if you use BART, Caltrain, anything like that. And for like a weekend trip, but you lose your card, that's the only way to get your funds back. I cannot help you if it's not registered. My next question, what if all the bike racks on a bus are taken, but I have my bike?
It is the option for the bus operator, especially if the bus is not full, that you could actually take your bike inside the bus. For the Arctics, the articulated buses, you are allowed to do that, but for the 40-foot buses, those short buses, it is up to the discretion of the bus operator, and generally they do. They do, and tell, hey, I'm with the City of San Jose. And here's my Smart Pass. Could I take my bike on? And if there's capacity and bandwidth inside the vehicle, then absolutely, they'll most likely let you in.
And can I just make a quick plug for, to really encourage folks that are considering taking a bike on our system to go to our YouTube station to look up some of the recent videos that we've just uploaded about taking bikes on transit. They're really informative. They will definitely help demystify what to do and how to do it and give you some great tips. So those were made by our bike ped team very recently. So they're a great resource for folks that want to truly, be multimodal and take wheels to our buses.
Great. And Huad has another question here. Do rapid buses count as express buses or are they separate?
Yeah, rapid buses are not express buses. They're regular fare buses. So yeah, you could use our Smart Pass on our rapid buses. You don't have to pay anything extra for it.
And then the last question that I have written down here is in regards to the Guaranteed Ride Home program. We have a lot of employees living outside of Santa Clara County. Will that program get them home?
Janice, correct me if I'm wrong. Previously, when we were managing the Smart Pass, what we said for the Smart Pass emergency ride home was that if any part of your trip makes you use VTA or any kind of transit service within Santa Clara County and use your SmartPass, then you qualify for an emergency ride home to your home destination. So, for example, if you by any chance live in, hypothetically, if you live in Sacramento, and then you took the train and then you transferred to a VTA bus or you transferred to a VTA light rail, and then you qualify for an emergency ride home, theoretically, you could take a ride on us or all the way to Sacramento. But Janice, you might want to expand on that or edit my errors.
Yeah, sure, Dino. So actually, that's a great question you brought up, Sarah, because for those at the city who are longtime users of SmartPass, they may remember that it's super confusing. There's an emergency ride home program dedicated just for SmartPass users. The guaranteed ride home program that was on the slide in this deck is a brand new program, and it's all inclusive of all of our riders or anyone who takes sustainable transportation, really, if they either work or go to college or trade school in Santa Clara County. And I would say, just to keep it brief, it's a much more inclusive program, and non-VTA SmartPass users can also use that program. But what I would recommend for VTA SmartPass users is to go ahead and try that broader guaranteed ride home program, because the intent here with that is we really wanted to make it much more accessible to non-VTA SmartPass users, but we wanted to make it accessible from the perspective of, you'd be able to take Uber or Lyft as your emergency ride home. The SmartPass emergency ride home program is much more restrictive, and that program would require you to get a supervisor's permission in advance, do a paper form. Then once you get that approval, you would have had to go work through just one taxi company that program is contracted with. But with the guaranteed ride home program, the broader one, you can just, tend to that emergency right away and essentially ask for a reimbursement after the fact and work through that once you've registered through our portal. So I encourage you to to use the guaranteed ride home program. It's much easier, and you could get reimbursed much faster, whether it's through Venmo or through PayPal, whatever you'd like. We also have a paper check option as well, but Venmo and PayPal, that's pretty immediate. So check it out. Go ahead and register, even though you don't expect any emergencies anytime soon.
Yes, exactly. I've already registered. I hope to never have to use it, but registering for that program for Guaranteed Ride Home, it's quick and painless. And it's a really great service that VTA is offering. As Janice said, it's much more robust than that emergency ride home program. So a really great addition to VTA there. I'm out of questions. For myself, if anybody else has any burning questions that they would like to ask, by all means, go ahead and drop it in the chat. I will say that currently on our intranet page for the City of San Jose, there is an employee commute programs page. Right when you log on to sjcity.net, it will allow you to see some icons at the top. One of them is a bus. It's very obvious which one is the employee commute program. It has information there currently. I've built out a SharePoint page. However, it has not gone live yet. I'm waiting for IT to assist with that. But as soon as it does, it has a lot more information, a lot of really useful links to help guide everyone in exploring their commuter benefits that are available to them. If you'd like to chat with me in person, I'm going to be at a couple functions coming up here. I'm going to be at the library mini-con. I'm going to be at the HR open enrollment event. And I believe I'm also going to go to the regional wastewater facility for their kind of open enrollment benefit happening on the 2nd. So if you want to stop by and say hi and talk about commute, more than happy to. But otherwise, I don't see anything else coming up in the chat. It looks like we'll all gain about 10 minutes to go handle some things before our next meetings or go grab a bite to eat. But thank you so much, VTA team, Gretchen, Dino, and Janice. Wonderful presentation. And again, once the SharePoint page is live, this recording will go onto the page. So, but thank you all so much. And until next time,
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Sarah. Thanks, everyone.
bye. Thank you.
Bye.